Hey, this is Gladius, and welcome to my Harmony Trailblazer guide. The Trailblazer now takes on the Harmony path, and they are universal support for break effect teams in a very unique way. Breaking enemy toughness has never felt this good. Harmony Trailblazer fully embodies the concept of beating someone while they're down. I'll explain how their kit actually works, what is Super Break, how to build them, and what teams they support. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Both Trailblazer's basic attack and skill are damaging abilities. And before we assume they just spam basic attack to generate skill points like a typical support, let's actually compare them. Basic attack gives a skill point and the skill uses one instead. This is very standard. At max level, basic attack does 100% attack multiplier of damage, and the skill does 385 with E6 unlocked. It looks like a huge difference, but it's actually not. Harmony Trailblazer's build and team does not focus on his attack multiplier damage, so this damage won't be impressive either way. The skill is a typical bounce ability that does 1 hit and 4 random hits, generating 30 energy with 6 per hit. Also 1 unit of toughness damage on the first hit and half a unit for the rest. But with E6 adding 2 additional hits, everything changes. The skill now generates 42 energy and 4 toughness damage. And thanks to another Ascension trace, the first unit is doubled, resulting in a grand total of 5 toughness damage. Because of how much stronger the skill is compared to the basic attack, if the team can afford it, Trailblazer definitely wants to use the skill. The talent gives Trailblazer 10 energy anytime an enemy is weakness broken. Having this much energy generation and toughness damage actually do matter because the ultimate will tie all of this together. The ultimate is slightly costly at 140, but not a big problem. When activated, it doesn't do any damage, but buffs the entire team with 30% break effect and the ability to now deal super break damage. The entirety of the buff lasts for 3 turns, but counts down on Trailblazer's own turn. But the big question is, what is super break? To understand super break, we must first understand the original break effect. Enemies spend a good amount of time with their toughness bar intact, and when broken, they are delayed and weakened to receive more damage. When their turn is back up again, they recover all their toughness, and the cycle repeats itself. Normal break and the benefits of break effect occurs the moment the enemy is broken, and depending on the element type, you get some other side effects. Super break only focuses on the latter portion of the break cycle, and deals a massive amount of damage to enemies inside that broken state. Normal break is calculated by a fixed level multiplier that only scales with character level, multiplied by the type multiplier that is either 1 or 2 depending on the element. Then you multiply another factor based on enemy's max toughness. This is fair. The harder you worked for this break, the more you should get. This factor is typically 0.75 to 1.5 for normal enemies, 3 to 4 for elites, and can go up to 6 or more for bosses. Break effect is another multiplier that amplifies everything again, but it stops there, because crit multiplier and damage increase will not apply. Super Break, on the other hand, triggers anytime an attack lands on a weakness broken enemy, also taking the level multiplier as base value, except this time it doesn't take into account the type or the max toughness of the enemy, and instead you have another multiplier in their place. This one scales with units of toughness damage of the attack that was used. Break efficiency is very powerful and multiplies on top of this. Finally, break effect is multiplied as normal. Important to note that only the attacker's break effect is considered here. Trailblazer has 2 other Ascension traces that improve the team's super break. First, enemies are pushed back further by 30% when weakness is broken, essentially extending the damage window for super break. The other one improves super break's damage directly with a separate multiplier that scales up to 60% more damage when there are less enemies on the field. For trace priority, you want to level the talent for more energy. Then you can level the ultimate for a little more break effect buff. You can leave his skill and basic attack at level 1, as leveling them only increase the attack multiplier of Trailblazer, which is less than 1% of his total team contributions. Harmony Trailblazer plays an amplifier role, improving the whole team's damage by about 75%, while he is restricted to only being this good in a break effect team. But within this niche, he is very competitive with other limited 5-star amplifiers, only falling short to Rum Mei. But hey, they can be played together anyways. A third of his contribution comes from buffing the team's break effect, 30% from the ult, 30% from the Watchmaker set bonus, and 30 to 45 from his E4. The bigger portion of his support is giving the allies the ability to trigger super break. The actual damage is based off the attacker's level and break effect. So maximizing Trailblazer's break effect is nice, but not required. So when building Trailblazer, we'll focus on ultimate consistency with energy and speed as a priority. Then getting some extra break effects if we can, and completely ignoring all attack multiplier related stats like attack percent, crit value, and imaginary damage bonus. Main stats for chest will be HP percent or defense percent for better tanking, but a flex main stat with high speed and break effect subs can also work. Boots, we want speed for smoother rotation and energy generation. For sphere, it's the same as the chest piece. Ideally, you want HP or defense, but a flex with good stats can work. For rope, it heavily depends on Trailblazer's light cone choice. If the light cone provides additional energy sources, you'll just want break effect. Because as long as you're hitting that 3-turn ult rotation, ulting more doesn't do anything. But if you're using a light cone like dance that adds even more utility to the ult, you want to actually have an ERR rope to get better consistency at minimum, and a 2-turn ult rotation if everything goes your way. The priority for substats for Trailblazer will be speed over break effect over tank stats. Now let's talk about relic set bonuses. For the outer 4-piece, while you can use any 2-piece combination of break effect and speed for now, but ultimately, the only set that matters is Watchmaker Master of Dream Machinations. It's absolutely imperative to get this set if you're serious about building Trailblazer. The set bonus is so important that I value it over main stats and substats, which is something I've never said before. For planner ornaments, the traditional popular choices either focus on personal damage or improving the team's damage, but don't really apply to Trailblazer and the break effect teams all that much. Best ones for now is the break effect set and the ERR sets, but they're not so big of an improvement for your team's damage for you to feel like you must have them. Now we do have a few good light cone options, but actually only 2 make a huge difference for the team's damage. The obvious one is Runmay's signature, which is amazing, but very expensive to use on a free-to-play unit like Trailblazer. Another light cone that makes a huge difference for team damage is Dance. At S5 with a 2-turn ult rotation, this light cone has a very high ceiling for performance. Next best option is Memories of the Past. This light cone gives so much break effect, and the fact that it gives you energy as well, you can end up using break effect rope. But surprisingly, giving Trailblazer so much break effect only goes so far when it comes to supporting team damage. Super break always accounts for the attacker's break effect, and Trailblazer is only 1 out of the 4. Bronya's light cone and Meshing Cogs are energy-focused light cones, making it much easier to build Trailblazer. Beyond this point though, we currently don't have good options that actually work with their kit. So in what teams is the Harmony Trailblazer the most useful? Does he really require the whole team strategy to be only doing break effect damage? Not necessarily. The main mechanic here is super break for all allies. As I explained before, you want high toughness damaging abilities or high frequency of attacks, or better yet both. And to top it off, it's a huge bonus if you're already building a lot of break effect on these units. It doesn't even need to be for the purpose of doing more break damage. Some characters just build break effect naturally to increase their personal attack damage, and that's okay as well. We have only a few characters that are incentivized to build break effect for real, but there'll be more to come. So ignoring break effect for now, let's analyze the character with the highest amount of toughness damage. For characters that excel in AoE fights, we have Jingyuan, Himiko, and Dill with the highest break units. And surprisingly, Stelle with a lot of toughness damage on paper with her extra turns on multiple targets. But unfortunately, Super Break only procs on target that is already weakness broken, so it's difficult for Stelle to take advantage of Super Break itself to land those kills in the first place. Welt doesn't have the best toughness damage, but the extra delay from his ult can extend enemy broken state, resulting in more Super Breaks for the whole team. Now for single target fights, I've listed the best options. Boothill and Xue are definitely on top. They both build break effect naturally and have a high amount of toughness damage. Then we have someone like Topaz and Ratio who doesn't benefit much from break effect, but do have amazing toughness damage in their kit. Sushang can go break effect though, and have a high attacking frequency supported by her kit, making her almost as competitive as Xue and functions like a 4-star version of Boothill. Luca and Sampo can both make a break effect build work, but unfortunately their toughness damage falls a little short. One fix to this is to build an insane amount of speed to increase their attack frequency. As for team amplifiers, trailblazers themselves have the highest possible toughness damage, but who else can we put alongside them to proc super break? Runmate is by far the best, but she only contributes a measly 2 unit of break. What she does do is buff the team's break efficiency so enemy goes into their broken state sooner, and break efficiency is a huge multiplier on all toughness damage units. And she extends the broken duration with her ult pushback. Asta is the next best option for break effect team support. The huge attack percent buff she gives is actually not that impactful, but the speed buff is. And she has really high toughness damage herself. Pella and Silverwolf are among the best amplifiers for break damage. Lowering defense is the most efficient way to amplify break effect teams, as the traditional damage increase and crit damage does not really work for break effect, or super break. What makes Pella and Silverwolf even better is on top of doing really good toughness damage, they both can viably build high amount of break effect and speed to improve their own super break contributions. For the sustain slot, Aventurine and Gallagher has the highest toughness damage and no one else even comes close. Gallagher goes a step further and naturally builds a lot of break effect, and will end up doing twice as much super break damage per unit of break. The Harmony Trailblazer is at the frontier of a coming break effect meta, which is long overdue. Ask me if you still have any questions in the comment section down below. My name is Gladius. Thank you for watching. Until next time.